Hey, so how did we, the Potato Museum people, become suddenly corn collectors? We have an enormous collection about corn, and it came about when we were doing a project in Washington, D.C. with the Smithsonian.
Yeah, look
They
at this.
found us on the yellow pages, or maybe that wasn't the yellow pages.
The yellow pages.
The white
Look,
pages.
look. Here's the Potato Museum. It was spelled with an E, and we're listed.
And the
for
head
these
of
other
the
so we're going to show this. We're going to show this. The Smithsonian. So we were right there with the big boys of the museums in D.C. So tell us the story, Meredith.
Well, we had an exhibit, as you've seen before, in the bottom floor of our townhouse on Capitol Hill. And we had visitors. They had to come by appointment. And out of the blue, I got a phone call from the Smithsonian people asking, could they come by? And I said, of course. And they literally, I opened the door, they walked in.
This was Herman
In fact,
Viola.
they opened the door, come to think of it.
Who's this guy, by the way?
Walked in, that's the guy that got the
Herman-
whole thing going.
Herman Viola. Yeah.
And they just stood there and they went, wow, you've got it. This is it. And bam, we were hired.
Hired to be curators at a major exhibition at
So-
Smithsonian.
I got to work. I worked on that for about 2 years. We did all kinds of things. Do you want to talk about what the seeds are or not?
Yeah, just the seeds. This was based on a book in which they talked about the influence of five. They called them seeds, and so the Europeans. This is during Columbus' voyages to America. The Europeans brought diseases, negative. They brought the horse, positive. And they brought sugar to the New World to grow, but they needed people to grow it, so they brought slaves. So those are the three subjects that came from the
And of course,
Eastern
there are many
Hemisphere.
more, but this is just part of
The exhibit was just literally 5 seeds. So the positive part of it was the plants that came from the Americas, corn and potatoes. So they spread around the world. And here, by the way, notice the Potato Museum is mentioned as one of the major sponsors of this, along with Xerox, for instance. So we were there in the big boys. Here's the exhibit entrance. This is the potato and corn section here.
But is it time to talk about the corn section or not?
No, so we're gonna. So the potato section, they did this big diorama, and when the show was over, we got these 2 mannequins. We have them still and using them. A lot of this, all small items, are from our collection, all of them. So this is the potato section. They had these big windows of our artifacts that were nicely displayed. And here's another view. We don't have very good images of this exhibition. These are not great, but tell us about what happened, Meredith. When
Well,
we got
about
going.
2 months before the show was to open, and I had been working on the potato for over a year and a half at least, they called me and they said, Meredith, can you do corn? And I went, sure. Now, this was closer to the time when you could find things online about corn, by the way. Anyway, I did corn. So these 2 windows convey something about the corn's story.
Yes, and we ended up having, moved on, necessarily added to our interest in collecting things about food, corn, and this became a big parallel collection that we have. Also, they had a display of a diorama of this Hopi farmer, corn grower. So you can see those windows I just showed you. This was one of the mock-ups or the drawings of some of the artifacts that we collected that went on display at this major exhibit. Here's another view of it, of things that were part of this. So yeah, it was 500 years since Columbus. Seeds of Change. There you can see Herman Viola's name, and you can see the corn gets center stage in the big huge catalog that went with the show. Also, at the same time, there was a Smithsonian Folklife Festival that summer, and we participated in that, and you can see some of the corn things that were going on. Years later, So we were part of a major exhibit at Smithsonian, and then we've done doing smaller exhibits. This one was part of a program that we did in a supermarket. These were a series of kiosks that we had in the series of kiosk displays. This was the Amazing Maze. You can see some of those artifacts that we were just showing you that were on display. And we had lots of programs in the store. We were kind of pioneers in pop-up exhibits. And let's just move over here to. So here's just a random sample of some of the things that we have about corn. We have hundreds and hundreds of artifacts. The bigger ones are still in storage, but we'll just show you these. So yeah, let's look at this poster from the 30s, I think, showing the growth of the plant. And of course, you have an ear of corn. You can see how it does stick out like a human ear on a head. Look at this one. This is a German beer stein with two little faces coming out of there. We also have this, but that's in storage. That's a teapot, corn teapot. This is a Norman Rockwell painting, an ad for Niblets, I guess. Yeah, fresh corn on the cob, Jolly Green Giant product. Here's a Corn Maiden. This is from the Kachina religion, I guess you could say, of the native people in the Southwest. Here's a Navajo woman, little model of a Navajo woman grinding corn on the stone there, mortar. Little baby right there. Here's a Navajo farmer. Hopi, I think he is. Yeah, Hopi guy in the dry lands. And switching real quick, here's Gorbachev, former premier of Soviet Union. He came to Iowa. He visited a farmer in Iowa, and he was impressed with how productive corn and other farm products, and he wanted the same thing for the Soviet Union. And he's memorialized. Look at him. He's got his corn. This is one of those nesting dolls. Yeah. So we've had fun. Corn is a huge collectible subject, and it's a very important world commodity. Here's the story of food. Story of Corn by Betty Fussell. This is a wonderful resource. And yeah, this is the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. Every year they have a different design around it. This building is, is a rec center and a theater and all that, but they're promoting their corn products. So they've been doing this since, I guess, 1892. Here's one of the drawings. They have a contest every year to see what the theme will be, and so this was one of the mock-ups for one of the years. We did a whole show on the Corn Palace. Look at all these stamps. I said corn is a world commodity. Excuse me. You see all of these different countries honoring the corn plant. Yeah, look, there's Iowa right there. Oh, look at that, Nebraska, Nigeria, Uganda, Cameroon. So we have big and small. We've done big and small exhibits. We have big and small corn. Look at this. This is a little Christmas ornament. This is the tiniest one we have. Look at this. Look at this little guy. A little silver corn. And here's this one, about the size of a dime. So then we go to the really big. These are these exaggerated corn, exaggerated postcards that people used to send back in the early 20th century to people back east, showing how productive the lands were that they had moved to. Look at that. So yeah, look at this. This is at the Atlanta airport. The corn jet taking off. This is fun. This is a mural from the 1930s, I think, early 40s, in the post office in Mount Ayr, Iowa, which is in southern Iowa. And during the Depression, artists were given jobs to decorate public buildings, federal buildings, and this one was done by, I think, Jeffrey Orr, I think his name was. I'll put all this in the description. But look at this. Corn is king. This is the corn parade, Iowa Corn Parade. Just a wonderful, fun image to have in your post office. In their post office. Look at lots of popular things. This is the big maze, the world's largest maze. This is in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania at the time. The Amazing Maze Maze. And you can get lost in there. They have people helping you if you can't find your way out. Nebraska, another state, the U.S. state, is very proud of their corn tradition. Look at how tall those corn stalks are. And then their football team are the Cornhuskers, and people go to the game wearing their corn hats. Yeah. Here's the Iowa corn song. This is an old piece of sheet music. And look at this. This is statehood, 1846, 1946, Iowa. Look at the symbol right there. Yeah, and so lots of things. This is fun. We have lots of labels, corn, can labels and all that. This is cornstalk fence. Is wrought iron fence in New Orleans. Very famous fence. You can see all the corn stalks. So we're going to be doing many more shows about corn. Some of them will be just shorter shows. This is just a big introduction to you, for you. And look, oh, corn broom. There it is. So if you like these shows, let us know. Leave a comment. Tell your friends. And we're always happy to hear from you. And we'll see you next time.